Welcome to Walking with Jesus Bible Study. We're going to be in the book of Joshua, chapter 23, verse 11. And it says, Take good heed, therefore, unto yourselves, that ye love the Lord your God. And I'm going to repeat that. Take good heed, therefore, unto yourselves, that ye love the Lord your God. Joshua had just brought the Israelites into the land of milk and honey, the promised land that God had promised his people. He's instructing the people before they go into their land of their inheritance to do and to remember key important rules and of instruction. This verse right here is one of the most important ones. To love God. See, a lot of us don't love God. Not like we think we do. We like to believe that we do. In fact, the first commandment says to love your God with all your mind, heart, and soul. See, a lot of people have a relationship with God, but that doesn't mean that they love him. See, in this world as humans, there's all kinds, and we know many types of relationships that people have. Some people are in a relationship right now with people who they don't even love, and they know that they don't love them, but it's a comfort zone. It's someone that they can just be for right now until they can figure out where to go or what to do. Some people are just using it for money, for sexual needs, for this and that. Whatever the purpose is, all it is just a useful relationship. Means that they're using you. There is no love involved whatsoever. So many of us people are in a relationship with God, and we're just using God, but we don't truly love him. We're using them for blessings or for this and for that. I'm just saying, as it is in heaven, as it is on this earth, as it is in earth, people are treating God the same way. Then there is people who is in a relationship and they think that they do love that person, and come to find out they don't love that person. And this is where cheating comes in. Because if they truly, truly love that person, they would have never cheated on them. It is an eye awakening. And then when some people who have cheated, they like to say, oh, well, now I know what my feelings were. And they like to say, well, now I love that person. Now that I realize what I have lost, I must have truly loved that person. Let us go back. No, that's not what it is. They like to think that. But that just happens to not be true, because if they loved you, they would have never cheated on you. What happens is the guilt and the shame sets in, and they realize what a good person you was, and they realize they can't get that type of person who you were. They can't find somebody as good or as better. And once they realize that, they seem to think that that is love and want to come back. And that is not love. That is just wanting something they don't deserve. And many people are in a relationship with God just like that. See, if you truly love God, we're all going to mess up. We're all going to fall short. None of us is perfect. But when we truly love God, we don't want to do those things. We don't want to hurt him. So when we get corrected, when we realize that we cannot do this and that, it breaks our heart. Because we don't want to do those things. And see, those people who are living in sin, and even when the Holy Spirit, and some people believe they have the Holy Spirit and don't even. That's why they don't feel convicted when they go commit sin. It doesn't bother them as much, because they don't even have the Holy Spirit residing in them that's going to grieve them, that's going to make them feel convicted. So that's why they can continue to keep living, and the sin does not bother them. And see, as Christians, we want to say, you know what? Your Holy Spirit will convict them. We forget that not everybody has the Holy Spirit. Just because you have been called Christ into your heart, and because you have been baptized, does not mean that you have been gifted with, been baptized in fire, and been gifted with the Holy Spirit. So we're not going to feel those convictions. But without the Holy Spirit, there is still love. And the love that you have for God will convict you. So either way, if you're not getting convicted by the Holy Spirit, your love for God shall convict you into not wanting to do such things. There's all kinds of relationships. There's not one in particular. We see those couples that everybody's like, oh, those were soulmates, and it was love at first sight, and you know, everybody just admires that relationship because they're like best friends, and it seems like they have everything just perfect and what have you. And there is such an existence. There is true love like that. It's rare. Just like we have the people that's totally on fire for God. It's rare. A lot of people that think that immediately because we are children of God and that we have them, that we're all going to be on this on fire, immediately love at first sight type of relationship with God. And then there's some that build up to that. There's some that are in a relationship and you didn't think really nothing too, you know, peculiar about it or unique about it or special about it. But as time went on, you turn into something that everybody talks about. Look at them too, and everybody admire about. And you're that on fire, the love at first sight people, even though it wasn't at first sight, it built up to that. See, there is many types of relationship in this world. And that is reflection of the many types of relationship there is with God. So it is very important to look at yourself. Pay attention to your heart. What is your heart telling you? There's many of us that like to think that we are. And we've been in it for a good long time. And then after a while, we realize that we was never truly in love with that person. And things are just not adding up. And so you have to go. Because after a while, you just realize, why am I here? I don't think I've ever truly loved somebody. I thought I did. It felt like love. You was just comfortable. Comfort does not mean love. So there's many people who have a relationship with God. And they think that they love their God. But when things get rough and years later down the road, they start to realize, hey, you know what? And they leave. Their faith just leaves them. Things happen. The world happens. All of us want to be that person that's totally on fire. God says, do not compare yourself, for each one of us is special and unique. So we should not compare because we don't know what one person is going through, and well, where one person looks like it's this on the outside is totally different on the inside. I've noticed that some people that seem like to me, I was like, oh, that person's really on fire for God. It turns out they was the least amount of person that was for God. It was all a facade. It was the biggest, fakest thing that you could ever dream of. And you'll be like, wow. Wow. I had no clue. And this is why it's very important that you should not compare yourself, because you don't know the heart of people, but God does. God knows your heart. He knows your heart and He knows your love for Him. Ask God to give you a heart that is after him. Just like he was responsible for hardening